Well, hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. The very first book we have today, and this is lot 48 in the romance. We're still doing 20 cents a book, so you get 10 books for $2. So, the very first book today we have is To Love a Man by Karen Robards. And this is a copyrighted 1985. This is what the book looks like. It's got a little bit of writing in it. These are like thicker romance novels. There's even a tag in there where it was once $3.50. So here is what the book is about, the synopsis. Under the searing African sun, they fought as fiercely as they loved. She was Lisa Collins, beautiful and willful, a spoiled rich girl recovering from a tragic marriage. Now in Africa as a journalist, he was Sam Eastman, a hardened soldier of fortune fighting in Rhodesia's civil war. He saved her from a terrorist attack, and from that moment on, Lisa could not resist the red-hot desire he awakened with his touch. Sam would make her his captive, his woman, taunting her, teasing her, treating her no better than a slave. He would take her when and where he chose, hurting her pride even as he healed her wounds. She would love him, hate him, fight him, need him as he needed her. As she strove to tame his wild, embittered heart, and as he had taught her to love a man. That sounds pretty wild. Sorry, I got a little bit of allergies today. So there's book one. Book number 2 is Journey on the Wind by K.L. McDonald. This is a 1976 copyright. It's got some writing there. This is what the book looks like. And this is what it's about. They set off into the American wilderness in search of a new life. Margaret Brightwood had come inexperienced and unafraid from a sheltered life in Philadelphia to the untamed Oregon Territory in 1942. She was sure she could take care of herself in this brutal world of crude frontiersmen and savage Indians, and totally unprepared for what awaited her. Her guide was Ross Chestnut, a legend on the frontier. Some said he was a white renegade, others that he had Indian blood. But no one doubted his many blood victories in violent battle, and his easy conquest on the fields of love. Margaret had no intention of surrendering to this man whom she despised at first sight, and Ross was not about to take no for an answer from this woman whose life was in his hands. Here, set against the majestic grandeur of the unconquered Northwest frontier, is a soaring novel of passionate romance and savage excitement, Journey on the Wind. There's book 2. Book number 3 is really big. This is a really big book. This one here is called... It's called Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. And this is a 1979. And it's like, it feels like library binding, like it's covered in plastic. That's what it is. But anyways, I keep bending the first page. There's some writing there. This is what the book looks like. It's got a little bit of like marks through it, like down in the corner, I think. Like right in there. But that's it. None of the words are covered. It's a big book. Redeeming Love, California's Gold Country, 1850. A time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep. Angel expects nothing from men except betrayal. Sold into prostitution as a child, she survives by keeping her hatred alive. And what she hates most are the men who use her, leaving her empty and dead inside. Then she meets Michael Hosea, a man who seeks his father's heart in everything. Michael Hosea obeys God's call to marry Angel and to love her unconditionally. Slowly, day by day, he defies Angel's every bitter expectation until, despite her resistance, her frozen heart begins to thaw. But when her unexpected softening comes, overwhelming feelings of unworthiness and fear, and so Angel runs back to the darkness, away from her husband's pursuing love. Terrified of the truth, she no longer can deny her final healing must come from the one who loves her more than Michael Hosea does, the one who will never let her go. A powerful book of Hosea, redeeming love, and a life-changing story of God's unconditional redemption, all-consuming love. Oh, this sounds good. So there is number 3. That sounds like a really good book. Okay, and then we have book number 4. This one here is Mischief by Catherine Hart. It's 1995. This page has come apart, but it looks cute. That look cute on front of a journal, actually, especially a romance or a love story. And then there's some writing there. This is what the book looks like, and this is what it's about. Incorrigible. Spoiled, sassy, and enticingly lovely, Heather Blair Burns rightfully belongs among Boston's high society, certainly not in Dodge City Saloon. But had the haughty, high-spirited debutante remained back east, she would have missed a daring train robbery, a reunion with her her presumed dead father, and the handsome, rough, and rugged rogue who calls himself Morgan Stone. It's bad enough that evidence has linked Wells Fargo agent Stone to a string of robberies. Now he has to work undercover behind a bar and deal with the saloon keeper's beautiful bride of a daughter, an exasperating minx who would serve the customers lemonade and give the local soiled doves lessons in decorum. But love has a way of ambushing even the most mismatched of hearts. All it takes is a hint of passion and a touch of mischief. That sounds funny, actually. So there's book number 4. Book number 5 is Spring Snow by Yukio Mishima. If I mispronounced, sorry. 1973 is the copyright. This is what the book looks like. And this is what it's about. Suddenly she seemed consumed by a mysterious fire, her lips with an incredible liquid smoothness that intoxicated him kept twisting one way then the other against his own. The firm edge of her resolve was melting away like a lump of sugar in hot tea, and now wonderfully sweet dissolution had begun. Her entire Camino swirled in revolt as he tore frantically at the folds of the silk that bound her breast. Then right before his eyes he saw the tiny, well-guarded triangle of white below her throat spread into a rich and fragrant expanse of skin. A love story related to Romeo and Juliet, a work of superb, fantastically sensual fictional art. Okay, there's book number 5. Book number 6, A Bridge to the Sky by Margaret Ball. And this is a 1990 copyright. And it's got some writing there. This is what it looks like. Well read and loved. And this is what it's about. A bridge to the sun, from the Benedict monasteries of England to the sacred tombs of darkest Egypt, from the ancient temples of Jerusalem to the great cities of Italy, France, and Hungary. Here is a riveting saga of medieval times told through the lives of passionate men and women who envisioned and engineered history's most triumphant and timeless monuments into humanity, the great cathedrals and castles of the early Europe. A Bridge to the Sky. Born in poor Suffolk fishing village, young Stephen of Dunwich was branded a witch by an ignorant peasantry frightened of his remarkable gift. Exiled with his mother, Maud, they were forced to seek shelter from the black monks of Ely, where Stephen would become the apprentice of a cruel, cold-hearted monk whose true ties to his mother and son were carefully guarded under Brother Daniel's harsh tutelage. Stephen would acquire the basis of education he needed and become a brilliant architect. Under the spell of a beautiful peasant girl, he would forsake his vow and seek his destiny as a master builder in the greatest cities of the East and West. A rich, compelling blend of history and drama, a bridge to the sky, a magnificent record of Europe's first great burst of creative light from after the Dark Ages, and the haunting, fascinating story of a man who dared to dream and built his dream in stone and mortar in the last 100 lifetimes. There you go, book number 6. These bundles sounds really good. This bundle of books is not bad. Get all kinds of goodies in these books. Twists and turns. Okay. So here's book number 7. This one here is called The Turning Point by Shannon OCork, and this is 1988. This is what the book looks like. Oops. And this is what it's about. Newport, where glittering wealth and dazzling faces hide the deadly secrets of passionate hearts. Like a moth to a flame, Audrey Smoke was drawn to Bay Lochholm, desperately fighting the emotions he unleashed in her during his first breathless encounter on the cliffs overlooking the sea. But Lochholm's stormy gray cat eyes cast a deep spell over the carpenter's daughter as the innocent beauty captured his haunted soul. But as Bay's bride and the new mistress of Wales Turning, Audrey was suddenly cast into the golden world where the faces hid daring lies and shocking truths. For inside the magnificent mansions on Gilt Hill lurked madness, shattered dreams, perhaps murder. Yet even greater passion and peril awaited Audrey in the deep summer shadows of Wales Turning and in the world that would change her forever. There's book number 7. Book number 8. We have The Rainbow Gypsy by Sandra Lynn Earls. Look at this. Inside, that's pretty. It's even got a castle in the background. This is a 1980 book. Copyright. Got a mark there. But I think pretty much the rest of the pages are good. And then it says, she is no ordinary woman, a bold fighter, a stunning temptress, a spy extraordinaire. Megan the Gypsy, Megan the Duchess, has committed her brains and her beauty to a cause, and all her work depends on secrecy. He is no ordinary man. A hardened cynic, a handsome loner, a proud man governed by a childhood pledge. I am the womanizer, I am the Duke, has committed his wits and wealth to a cause, and all his work depends on secrecy. They fight, they marry, they love, and neither knows that the other risked all for the downfall of Napoleon. Neither knows that the secret they keep is the secret they share. From the wild Irish countryside to the cultivated saloons of Vienna, from the warm hearths of England to the quick assault of France's guillotines, Megan the lady, Megan the spy, as bold as many men who desired her, as elusive as the rainbow's end, as great as the passionate as the world she conquered, she was the Rainbow Gypsy. So there is book number 8. Book number 9 is The Bars of Iron by Ethel M. Dell. And it's condensed by Barbara Cartland. It's almost like a Reader's Digest, but a one that does romance books. That's cool. And this is a 1977 copyright. A little writing there. That's what it looks like. And then this is what it's about. Miss Cartland originally inspired. Wait a minute. Here. Trying to find the synopsis. Okay. There's no back on this. It doesn't give you like a synopsis on the back, but it looks like this might be part of one. This is kind of a preface. Okay. This is one of Ethel McDell's most deeply emotional and passionate novels. The whole situation of a sensitive woman who unknowingly marries the murderer of her first husband keeps one spellbound and tense from the first word. Her characters have never been more sympathetically drawn, and one feels despairingly that there will never be a happy ending. With the skill which made Ethel M. Dell the most popular author of the day, she keeps us on edge, praying things will come out right, terrified they will not until the dramatic end. No woman could fail to fall in love with the love-torn, strong-willed Piers, and Avery, soft, vulnerable, and mentally tortured, has so much of ourselves in her personality and character. And that's what it gives. So that's what we read. So there's number 9. Sounds interesting. Number 10. This one here is When Love Commands by Jennifer Wilde, and this is in 1984. It's got a little, looks like a little sticker was there. It's got some stamping in it from stores it was sold at. That's what the book looks like, and this is what it's about. Savagery and splendor. As Mariette Danvers' convey sped across the wintry Russian landscape, not even her sumptuous fears could keep out the sudden chill of apprehension. Was she letting wounded vanity lead her into danger? Her heart had been broken, but could she really forget by running off to St. Petersburg with Count Gregory Orlow? Soon it was too late for regrets. Gregory Orlov, the tall, brooding, handsome, wildly passionate Russian, notorious as Catherine the Great's uncrowned emperor, revealed a violent nature which took pleasure in her torment. She was no more than a prisoner snared in the intrigues of glittering imperial court, pursued by the rage of a jealous empress, thrust into the savagery of revolution. Defenseless and nearly broken, she resigned herself to death or worse. Yet the man she had run from, trying to forget, had not forgotten her, or the dreams of love they once shared. So there you go, book number 10. Sounds like a really interesting lot. So with that, I hope you have a pleasant evening. And I will see you soon. Bye. Mwah.